Good afternoon, YouTube. Today we're going to have a little bit of fun with a few angle grinders from Horrible Freight. First of all, let me explain to you folks that this is not a how-to video. This is for demonstrational purposes only. And if you choose to do this on your own, you're doing so at your own risk. With that, thank you for stopping by my channel to check this stuff out when you could probably be doing something more fun than watching me do this. So first, let me explain how this all came about. This is my Drill Master new angle grinder that I got from Horrible Freight. No, the flap disc does not come with it. I bought that separately. So we have Drill Master 4.5-inch angle grinder that I got with this cute little coupon right here. So I can get that to focus for $9.99. I don't know if that's focusing or not. You get the picture. So $9.99. I got this wonderful Drill Master tool. And not only did I get the tool, I got the free gift. Yes, I never get the free gift. I got the free gift. Cracker Jacks, free gift. Hey, it doesn't get any better than that. Anyway, so what I did with my wonderful new angle grinders, I came home, I plugged it in, and I turned it on, and sure enough, it worked. As I let it run for about 30 seconds, I noticed it's starting to wind up a little bit faster. And I thought, well, that's kind of weird. It should be the same speed from the get-go no matter what. That wasn't the case. So I got to thinking there's a couple possibilities. Brushes on the motor might just be seating. So as he's seating, more current flows, maybe it's spinning, or spinning faster, or possibly the bearings are not, let's face it, it's a $12 tool, is not all that great, and it was $9.99 with tax, and all came out the door for $12 with my free toy. So I get home and think about that, and I thought, well, spinning faster could be a few things. Could be the bushings. No, let me rephrase it. Could be the brushes or the bearings, or last but not least, there's some grease up inside here, which we'll get to the other two here in a minute. But so I decided to take this apart. I'm not going to retake this one apart because I already did, and I'll try to demonstrate that on the other two. So I took this apart, pulled the cap off, and what I found on this one first, what I found is when I pulled the cap off of this and exposed the gears, I found that ugly mess. And what I found with the one that I just bought, there was grease. Let's see if I don't know if this is going to be a good way to demonstrate this or not. There was grease all around the case here on the outside. On the outside here. Let's see if I can get a better pointer. On the outside. Grease all over. No grease on the pinion gear and no grease on this gear. Now this one you can see where it's had grease. The gears are moist, and I've used this one a lot. This one's had a lot of usage. I've beat it up pretty good. It still runs great. Well, great for what it is. But as you can see, the grease eventually goes all over the place. Now this one's had grease on the gears. This new one did not. The gears were dry. The grease was all around. So what I did is I took a small plastic brush and I made sure I took the grease that was caked all around the case here, and I made sure that I squished it all in the gears, got it good lubricated, and then I lubricated the pinion there, and then I put it all back together, which is why you want to mark these things when you do that, because I don't know if you can see this. The back is wider than the front. So you can see back here, the back is wider than the front. So you want to make sure you get these on. If you spin it backwards, it'll open that case up, and then you can get a bunch of dirt and stuff in there. Now, these are 12. I think I got this one a few years ago, 3-4 years ago, whatever it was, for like $8, because this is the 4-inch grinder and this is the 4.5-inch grinder. So I'm sure I got this for some ridiculously cheap price, as in my opinion this one here. Now that's fine. These are cheapish grinders, and for $12 I'm not going to worry too much about it, although you do want to have grease on there. You want some lubrication. You don't want this thing to wear out any faster than it's absolutely going to. And some of you might say, "Oh, I worked a whole hour for that $12. Well, okay, then go ahead and do this if you so choose to. Now, cheap ones, a little more expensive. It's not a DeWalt, I get that. It's another Horrible Freight product. But a little more power. This is, I don't know what, I forget how many amps this puppy is. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But anyway, it's more power than these two. And once again, I'm thinking, well, this didn't have any grease. This has minimal. what the heck does this thing have? And for the $12 ones, that's one thing. For this one here, I can't go out every week and buy a $50 grinder. And with that, well, if you're going to spend that kind of money, just go get a DeWalt. Yeah, but, you know, this is a good starter. I call these are starter angle grinders before you go, you know, spend the big money for a name brand one, and we won't even get into that. That's your guys' choice only. I'm not suggesting that one way or the other. Now, on that cape, no grease, minimal grease, a little more money, and I've used this a little bit. What about in here? What do we got going on in here? So I took the screws out. I've already taken the shroud off. I wasn't going to bore you with all that. Let's see what we got here. So we pull this little puppy off here gently. Spin it around. Ta-da! It actually has grease on it. It looks more like Vaseline. So something that resembles real grease. This did have real grease in it. And I have no idea what this is. But you can see that they made some kind of attempt to get the grease on there. And I imagine when these are spinning at a high rate of speed, it throws the grease all to the outside, would be my guess. And the pinion looks like it's had some grease on there. It looks like it kind of, let's see if I can set that down without getting everything all greasy. Where's my pointer here? So it looks like the pinion here flung the grease into this little pile right here. You know, and they do turn some RPMs, and that can happen. So what I'll do is I'll try to get this grease and redistribute it where it needs to be, knowing that when I turn it on, it's probably going to fling it back out again. Which I don't think I would suggest this Vaseline-ish looking type stuff or something like this. If you want to get anal about it, clean all that stuff out. Use your own discretion. I'm not going to show you how because I haven't done it yet, but I might eventually pull all this crap out of here and get a good gear grease, something that's going to adhere to the gears. And I don't know what that is. I'm sure there's a product out there with today's technologies and stuff. I'm sure there's a better grease than what's in here, but I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes, saying, hey, if you're going to use the tool a lot, you might want to re-grease or grease or whatever you want to do. If you only use them once a month or once a couple times a year, it'll take you forever to wear these out. But if you use them weekly or monthly or whatever, just up to you. They're not real expensive angle grinders, but hey, money well spent, or well, money spent is money spent, and you want to try to make your tools last as long as you can, if you so choose to do so. With that, that's all I got. Like I said, this is just a demonstration purposes. I'm not telling you how to do this. I'm not telling you should do this. I'm just saying this is what I found. Does that stand up on end like that? And what you might want to do to preserve your tool for the future, or whatever. Anyway, with that, thanks for stopping by. Hopefully this has helped some people out, or at least shown you what can go on with these finely made tools. With that, there'll be some other videos. I'm going to do some generator videos. I've got a generator sitting for a while. The tank is empty. The carb is empty, but it's been sitting, so we're going to fire that up. Once again, that's not going to be a how-to. That's just going to be a demonstration video. And later on, we'll get into some welding stuff and some radio-controlled airplane stuff. And it's just going to be kind of a channel of a mismatch of all kinds of stuff. So with that, thanks for wasting time with me. And hopefully this sheds some light on stuff that we've been reading about on some of these forums and stuff, and some of the review things on the Horrible Freight website that some guys have run across, that the lubrication's not the greatest on these things. And a little bit of time spent could work out pretty good. Anyway, thanks a lot. See me later.